Today we're going to explore weapons that have been banned for their destructive capabilities, indiscriminate harm, and lack of humanity. In this video, we'll be discussing their history, why they were banned, and what makes them so dangerous. So subscribe to our channel and let's get started. Landmines. Landmines are weapons that have been banned due to their indiscriminate nature. The use of landmines dates back to the 17th century, where they were used to protect fortresses and other strategic locations. The use of landmines became more widespread during the 20th century, particularly during the Vietnam War. Landmines are often left behind after a conflict and can cause harm to innocent civilians, including children. They are also difficult to remove, making them a threat to people and animals long after the conflict has ended. The international community has banned the use of landmines under the Ottawa Treaty, but they are used even nowadays. Russian forces have used anti-personnel mines in multiple areas across Ukraine, including victim-activated booby traps, since its full-scale invasion of Ukraine on February 24, 2022. Biological weapons. Biological weapons are perhaps one of the most dangerous weapons in the world, as they are capable of spreading diseases that can kill millions of people. The use of biological weapons dates back to ancient times, when the practice of poisoning water wells and food supplies was used in warfare. However, it was during World War I that the use of biological weapons became more widespread. During this time, both the Allied and Central Powers experimented with biological agents, including anthrax and glanders. In the 1970s, the Soviet Union had a large biological weapons program that produced anthrax spores, smallpox, and botulism toxin. The program was dismantled in the 1990s, and the Soviet Union pledged to destroy its biological weapons stockpile. Chemical weapons. Chemical weapons are also considered one of the most lethal weapons in the world. The use of chemical weapons dates back to ancient times when sulfur and pitch were used in warfare. One of the most notable examples of the use of chemical weapons occurred during World War I. Both sides used chlorine and mustard gas to attack each other, resulting in hundreds of thousands of casualties. The use of chemical weapons during World War I led to the creation of the Geneva Protocol in 1925, which banned the use of chemical and biological weapons in warfare. Chemical weapons come in several forms, including nerve agents, blister agents, and choking agents. Nerve agents such as sarin and VX attack the nervous system and can cause seizures, respiratory failure, and death. Blister agents such as mustard gas and lewisite cause severe skin and lung damage. Choking agents such as chlorine and phosgene attack the respiratory system and can cause suffocation. Despite the ban on chemical weapons, there have been several instances of their use in recent years. For example, the Syrian government has been accused of using chemical weapons against its own people, leading to international condemnation and calls for accountability. Nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons are arguably the most destructive and devastating weapons ever invented. They use the energy released from the splitting or fusing of atomic nuclei to create an explosion of enormous proportions. The development of nuclear weapons began in the 1940s, and the first atomic bomb was dropped by the United States on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945, killing hundreds of thousands of people and causing immense destruction. Since then, nuclear weapons have become a significant factor in global politics and warfare. The development of nuclear weapons by the United States led to the nuclear arms race during the Cold War, as the Soviet Union sought to develop its own nuclear arsenal. This arms race led to the creation of thousands of nuclear weapons with the potential to destroy the planet many times over. The fear of a nuclear war between the two superpowers led to policies of mutually assured destruction, where both sides had enough weapons to ensure that any attack would lead to the destruction of both countries. Today, the world still faces the threat of nuclear war, with 9 countries possessing nuclear weapons: the United States, Russia, China, France, the United Kingdom, India, Pakistan, Israel, and North Korea. The international community has taken steps to control the proliferation of nuclear weapons through treaties like the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, which seeks to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons and promote disarmament. However, the risk of nuclear war remains, with tensions between nuclear-armed states often high. Cluster bombs. Cluster bombs are another type of weapon that has been banned due to their indiscriminate nature. They were first used during World War II and have been used in several conflicts since then, including the Vietnam War and the Gulf War. Cluster bombs release many smaller submunitions, which can spread over a wide area, causing damage and harm to civilians. They are often used in populated areas, making them a significant threat to innocent civilians. The international community has banned the use of cluster bombs under the Convention on Cluster Munitions. One of the most significant examples of the devastating effects of cluster bombs occurred in Laos during Vietnam War. The United States dropped millions of cluster bombs on the country, leading to a high number of unexploded submunitions that continue to cause harm to civilians today. The use of cluster bombs in Laos has led to widespread poverty and displacement, and it is estimated that there are still over 80 million unexploded submunitions in the country. Despite the dangers posed by cluster bombs, some countries continue to use and produce them. The United States, Russia, China, India, and Israel are among the countries that still stockpile cluster bombs, even though they have been banned by the international community. And Russia has widely used cluster bombs in Ukraine during the war, causing hundreds of civilian casualties and damaging homes, schools, and hospitals. Also, the use of cluster bombs continues to be a significant concern in ongoing conflicts, with reports of their use in Syria and Yemen. Napalm. Napalm is a type of incendiary weapon that is made from a mixture of gasoline and a thickening agent. Napalm was first developed during World War II by a team of American scientists. It was used extensively during the Korean War and later in the Vietnam War, where it became infamous for its indiscriminate and cruel nature. Napalm is designed to stick to its target and burn at high temperatures, causing severe burns and destroying structures. It can cause immense harm to civilians, and its use has been criticized by the international community for its inhumane effects. The United Nations Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons has banned the use of napalm due to its indiscriminate nature. However, there are still reports of its use in conflict zones, leading to calls for stricter enforcement of the ban. Although these weapons are banned, reports of their use still occur in various conflict zones around the world, highlighting the need for continued vigilance and strict enforcement of the bans. It is our responsibility as global citizens to push for a world where these weapons are never used again, and we must work towards a future where peace and diplomacy replace violence and warfare. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, press the like and subscribe to our channel. We've got more interesting facts and videos for you. See you soon.